So I discover I'm speaking at 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. Frank Baum was a magical storyteller. He swayed the Wizard of Oz with profound wisdom. The story essentially works on many, many levels. Of course, it's a children's story. On another level, it's a story of a woman, young Dorothy, who discovers the treasures in her own backyard. She discovers the present of presence, rooted and grounded with love beneath her feet. On another level, it's a lexicon of psychological and spiritual insights. The story describes our fears, our anxieties, our nervousness, as we say in Malta. It describes a sense of failure or a sense of lack. But often, as a story unfolds, that sense of lack is a perception. The absences that the characters describe throughout their journey are truly perceptions, and the story, as it unfolds, describes to those characters, as the film provides evidence, those treasures were always there within their deepest selves, simply waiting to be discovered. Dorothy is struck by a tornado. She bangs her head and falls into a deep, dreamlike sleep. She awakes and discovers herself in a magical land, the land of Oz. And of course, having landed in this magical land, far, far away from Aunt Em and Uncle Ted and the farmhands, who are her greatest and dearest friends, she longs now to go home. Dorothy has wished to be far, far over a rainbow, way up high, because she felt misunderstood. She felt she was not being heard. She felt no one was listening to her. What's very interesting from my perspective, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a great listener, and I listen. And of course, real listening gives, again, the present of presence to people. So healing occurs. Remember the doctors of old. They listened, and healing happened in a heartbeat. In contemporary society today, people are driven to express themselves faster than and stronger than the coffee they have in the morning. And yet, as people are driven to express themselves and to be heard, so often those people they wish to listen to them are too tired to listen. Or they're having another dialogue and not really given the person they're speaking to the real present of presence. So Dorothy, if you like, has had a mad egg and decided she's off somewhere else, and she meets Glinda, the good fairy of the north. Glinda tells her that if she wishes to go home, she must take a journey to meet with a wonderful wizard in the Emerald City. And there, this omnipotent, mysterious person will give her ideas and suggestions and guide her to go home. On the way, she meets a team of companions. She meets a scarecrow who believes he lacks a brain, who believes he lacks intelligence. And indeed, that scarecrow lacking intelligence is like so many of the people I meet in my work. Imagine women who hide their cleverness because they don't want to be bullied at school. Or remember the kid at school who was always told every day by the teacher, "You're thick, you're stupid, you'll never achieve anything in your life," and goes on to be a major contributor in the world. However, that person may go through their adult life not owning their success. I meet people like that in my work every day, and it's awesome, jaw-dropping, to hear what they achieve, but they still hold within them a life sentence that holds them in a prison of their past. So Scarecrow, who's so excited by Dorothy's vision of this amazing and omnipotent person, decides to join her, and they continue along the yellow brick road. And then they meet a Tin Man. Tin Man describes to them he longs to have a heart. He longs to emote. He longs to feel. He longs to feel a passion. He longs to feel angry and creative, to feel himself. And how many of us are in denial sometimes of our feelings? How many of us are disconnected from ourselves? We may have a connection, as indeed we do, around the entire world, but we do not necessarily dial into ourselves and our own inner voice and heartbeat. Again, the Tin Man is excited to join them. They continue this spiritual journey down the yellow brick road, and they meet a lion. "Boo!" said Dorothy, and the lion jumps back. The lion is lacking courage and longs to be the king of the forest, to shine, to be the lion's true colors. How many of you, how many of us lack courage at times? How many of us lack a sense of bravery? For sure, we may have bravado. You may know a swashbuckling CEO who cannot give a presentation and will happily delegate. Or the person around your boardroom table who is unable to introduce themselves and will be absent on the same day every month. Lion joins them, and they advance towards the Emerald City. What's interesting already, the very qualities that they are desirous of receiving from this wonderful wizard are already emerging within themselves. Dorothy, she falls asleep in a field of poppies, and Scarecrow, his intelligence sparks into mind. "This is a trick, this is," says Scarecrow. "It's the Wicked Witch of the West." Already, the treasures within Scarecrow, his intelligence, his ability to analyze the situation, are sparking within his conscious mind. But Scarecrow continues to think he lacks intelligence. Glinda arrives, and she saves the situation with Snow. And they continue to advance to the Emerald City. They meet the wonderful, omnipotent wizard who tells them they must continue their journey and go and retrieve the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. Perhaps the wizard realizes that we grow through tests. We grow through huge and phenomenal challenges. The four continue, but Dorothy is captured. However, during the journey to the witch's castle, already the lion displays himself as a natural leader, and Scarecrow, a fabulous tactician and strategist. However, although they have a divine plan and are determined and driven to rescue Dorothy, the witch has many subordinates who capture the three companions. But as they are captured and are captured together with Dorothy. The Wicked Witch maliciously lights Scarecrow, and he bursts into flames. But Dorothy takes massive action and flings a bucket of water over Scarecrow, and in so doing, dampens the witch. And the witch is liquidated, leaving only her scorched hat and the broomstick being the last block to their liberation and freedom. They return triumphantly to the Emerald City, presenting the broomstick to the wizard. The wizard, surprisingly, continues to resist their requests to turn their labels around. No intelligence, no heart, no courage. And one wonders why. Is it because the wizard is belligerent and angry? Because he's thinking, my goodness, don't they get it? Don't they realize they already have deep within themselves the very treasures they're asking me for? It is Toto, Dorothy's dog, with a paw stroke of wizardry, pulls back the curtain, and there is revealed an ordinary man with the most extraordinary ability to see the best in others, to believe in them, to champion them, to be on their team. And so, is it not true? We so often say, what's wrong with you, rather than what is right with you. We so often begin from a place of lack rather than abundance, acknowledging the treasures, the gifts, the qualities that are resident within each and all of you. The wonderful Wizard of Oz presents Scarecrow with a certificate, testifying to his intelligence. The Tin Man is presented with a heart, and Lion a badge of courage. How many of us, once we are acknowledged by someone revered and respected, when we are handed certificates, acknowledge and own our success? But how would it be if we believed we already had that which we asked a wizard for? And of course, along our journeys, our life journeys, we all need to see a wizard from time to time. But how would it be if rather than always becoming, we could be? How would it be if the work you do, the studying you do, is deepening the known, such that you already are that which you are choosing to become? And what of Dorothy? Well, Dorothy, the good witch of the north, she tells her, you've always had the possibility to go back to Kansas. All you needed to do was to click your heels. And so Dorothy does just that and discovers herself back home, waking up from this deep, dreamlike sleep, awaking surrounded by her loved ones, Aunt Em and her uncle, and the farmhands, who very curiously are rather familiar, a Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. And Dorothy realizes that if she ever goes looking for her heart's desire, she knows she need never go looking further than her own backyard. Because if it isn't there, she never really lost it in the first place. Dorothy realizes everything was beneath her feet, whole, transformed, and celebrating herself. Thank you.